Welcome back, viewers. You're watching the Savera and I'm Shefali. United States President Donald Trump has said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured him India would cease purchasing oil from Russia, signaling a significant shift in India's energy import policy. Speaking to reporters, Trump remarked that he had expressed his dissatisfaction with India's continued oil trade with Moscow, following which Modi reportedly gave his commitment to halt the practice. Responding to a question from the media, Trump noted that he had spoken directly with the Indian Prime Minister about the matter. He said, "I was not happy that India was buying oil," adding that Modi had assured him India would stop importing oil from Russia, describing the decision as a big stop. Trump indicated that the intent to persuade China to take similar action. According to media, the US president reiterated that Modi's assurance reflected a major change in India's trade approach, though the transition would not be immediate. There will be no oil. He is not buying oil, Trump said, clarifying that the move would take effect within a short period of time. He also emphasized that his personal rapport with Modi remains strong, describing his ties as a great relationship.
We have a great relationship. He just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship. No, we were not happy with him buying oil from Russia because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers mostly. This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil. And he assured me today that they will not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. You know, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years, and I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably have noticed, right? And I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, yep.
The statement comes in the backdrop of rising trade tensions between Washington and New Delhi. The Trump administration has already imposed some of the highest tariffs globally on Indian exports, including a 50% levy and an additional 25% duty linked to India's earlier imports of Russian crude oil. A week prior to Trump's remark, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greed has indicated that India was already taking steps to reduce its dependence on Russian oil. Speaking at the Economic Club of New York, Greed suggested that New Delhi was diversifying away from Russian oil and that Washington's approach was not to dictate India's foreign or energy policy. India is a sovereign country. They make their own decisions. We are not trying to dictate their relations with other countries, Greer said in a discussion with journalists. Now his comments suggesting a softer diplomatic tone, framing Washington's position as one of persuasion rather than pressure. Meanwhile, Moscow has sharply criticized the United States for what is called coercive attempts to disrupt its trade ties with Asian partners. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a recent statement, warned that such pressure would ultimately harm Western interests. He argued that any attempt to force India or China to reduce trade with Russia would be counterproductive, as both nations prioritize national sovereignty in their economic decisions. If India refuses our energy supplies, it will suffer certain losses, Putin said, adding that the Indian public would closely watch the decision of its leader and would not tolerate any more perceived as a humiliation under external pressure. The latest development highlighted the delicate balance India continues to maintain between strategic autonomy and its growing engagement with major global powers. While Washington has increased its effort to isolate Moscow economically, New Delhi has sought to preserve its energy security and independent foreign policy, a stance that may now come under renewed scrutiny following Trump's latest claim. That's all for now in this update. Stay tuned to The Savera. Download the app and follow us on various social media platforms.